It's day 15 of my Minecraft Redstone challenge, and we're going to end these 15 days with a bang. As you may notice, I don't have a planned plot behind me, and that's because I don't know how big this contraption is going to end up being. But we're building my take on Mumbo Jumbo's button. So there's a couple things I want with my version of the button. First is I don't want it to just be a regular button with just a health bar that goes down. And I'm kind of poor on the servers I'm on, so I can't really give out diamonds. So, instead, we're going to implement a health bar system, which is why I made this seed randomizer thing. Essentially, whenever people click the button, there's going to be a chance that it'll light up a separate lamp. And that separate lamp on a separate bar will be a separate countdown. So there will only be a very limited numbers of presses before the whole thing goes kablooey. So with that basic explanation of what my twist will be, let's get big brain and get this road on the show. Wait, show on the road. There we go. That's the way you say that line. So the first thing we're going to need is the timer bar. And I already have a timer bar built out. I designed this over the course of a couple of days. This is the actual bar system with the button reset. Basically, all it does is, if you haven't seen the prior videos, it'll count up, it'll hold that number and count that down, and then whenever you hit the button back here, it'll run through a reset cycle and reset the numbers back to the top. It's not beautiful, but it works. And I don't care about beauty, I care that it works. Now I've gone through and I've produced 2 of the countdown circuits. They're running the same way that they were over there. Just button press it to lower the signal. It also helps if I actually turn them on to the proper mode. And once they're on the proper mode, as you can see, it is counting down over there. Same thing works down here. It's just down here, since this is the actual button version, this has a hard reset for resetting the button. If you've seen the prior videos, you know how scuffed this thing is. It goes down to go up. Now, there is some things I want to do. I do need to rig up an explosion system. For now, I'll simulate it using firework rockets, probably. And I'll use this node right here. When it gets down to this node, this would be the explosion point. And then I also need to take the signal out and find what level of item it needs to drop, because I'm going to have item drops. I've now gone in and I've attached the seed randomizer. It's the same thing I built down there, a bit of a bigger storage component, and it's also just not wired into the button, because I've got to figure out where I'm going to put the button and then route a wire between the button and everything the button activates, which will be interesting because everything it activates is all over the place. Next on the agenda, I've got to put in the hopper clock. Probably right in here is where it will fit. It'll slot in somewhere in here, and that should be the last thing I need other than the kill circuit, the explodey thing, and the wiring. That also is needed, but it's less important because it's just wiring. Okay, live reaction. Let's see it reset. Well, it should reset. Oh, it's doing the reset. It reset! It did the reset! Yes! It looked scuffed, but it reset, which means it's all linked. These aren't gonna have anything in. Oh yeah, I didn't stock these. Oh. Well, you know what? That didn't matter anyway. It still worked. That means this is now a complete circuit, you know? Now that this is all linked up, tested, and works, all I need to do is just make a little front facade. Just for now, to make it look good for a thumbnail, and then I can go and build it on Arcadia. It is done. This behind me is the unstable button. Since I'm here already, I finished building it here. I might as well explain it over here, because the setup is a bit different. Some tweaks were made to go more along with how this server operates. Starting off, we have our button line. Now our button line goes all the way up off to our prize circuit and up to our reset circuit and our randomizer. We have the randomizer. The randomizer, it randomizes, puts out a random signal to trigger one of these lamps to cause the top bar to go down. If it ever hits 0, well, ever hits 1, 0 on this bar. Ever hits signal strength of 1, that goes, and it's all gone. Next bar down, we've got the timer bar. Now, the timer bar operates on a redstone clock, and then the redstone clock flicks the lamp. It times itself. This is currently set to like something absurd, like 3 hours, because I wanted it to take forever. Next, we've got the reset line, which it uses the simple reset that I had designed, where as long as one of these is up, it can flick itself back, and the ones that are lit up will disable themselves, and so it can reset. Over here, we have the sort of the last mechanism. Now, similar to up there, we have our TNT dropper for when things go boom, and additionally, we have this little line off here, powers these pistons, and these pistons control our prize output. That's gonna wrap it. That was day 15 of my redstone build challenge. The final day, we got something done. We proved that I can do redstone when I try. I've been Caddy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.